Hello, and welcome to Dylan's Dive Bar Season 3. We are in here today, and we are just having a family chat. All right, so welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, Dylan's Dive Bar is about conversations, community, and cocktails. So we have conversations to give us to our better selves, and then we have community where we support each other in our journeys to that effect, and of course cocktails. So tonight is viewer's choice, so whatever you are drinking tonight, I want you to put that down in the comments below. I myself literally just came from a job where we were making drinks and I was bartending. So your girl is good for the night. I did like St. Patrick's Day stuff. It was good stuff too. So we had like 3 different drinks. We had like an Irish margarita. We had a Lucky Charm. We had a pot of gold mimosa. So had a little bit of everything. Plus I had a Gold Rush, and we definitely got to talk about that. So your girl is good on drinks tonight, but whatever you're drinking, I want you to put that down in the comments. Now, tonight I have 2 special guests. Y'all know her. This is Lady Co. She was the 1/3 of the I Am Woe podcast and the host of She Talking Tea. And she's also my BFF.
I feel like that's how you should have started. The other stuff, that don't matter.
This is my BFF, 1/3 of the I Am Woe podcast, host of She Talking Tea. This is Lady Co. Say it to the people.
Hi, people.
And of course, we have our fearless leader, Mr. Dwayne, Mr. Woe, the leader of I Am Woe Media.
I was gonna say we're gonna slide which way.
What up?
Hey, all right. So what you drinking on over there, sir?
Lemonade.
Me too.
Just being good tonight.
Pineapple, but we ain't sponsored. So
but I've literally had I had an Irish margarita, which has tequila and Jameson plus some blue curacao and some other stuff in it. And then I had a Lucky Charm, which was like a chocolate mint martini. Then I had a Gold Rush, which is
you gonna make me want some Terramana in this now.
I'm about to say, why you bring them?
I'm just saying, like it was great. Like, and this is why our quick dip is what it is. Okay. Our quick dip tonight, we're going to dive right into it, is about eliminating timetables. Guys, I do not want you to feel like you have to put yourself on a timetable, because a lot of times, when we're leaving high school or leaving college and we feel like, okay, I need to get this done by this time, by this age, and this needs to be in place. And when we don't meet those timetables, then we start feeling like we're failing. You're not failing. All right. So you need to learn to let go and let the universe move. And I say universe, so that way, whomever it is that you pray to, whoever it is that guides you, you can plug them into where I put universe in, because it's literally about when it's supposed to happen. Timing is everything. And so often we put ourselves on a timetable, but we're actually completely out of time with the timing we're supposed to be in. And I think I was in my 30s when I read that a lot of people who become, successful in whatever industry they were in their mid to late 30s, sometimes 40s and 50s. Like Vera Wang was, I think, in her 50s when she started really being known for being a designer. And she's still one of the most world-renowned, designers in wedding gowns and things of that nature. A lot of the people that we look at as success, Tommy Hilfiger, all this stuff, when it comes to what we know them for, they were in their mid to late 30s and later on in life. So whatever timetable you're looking at, I need you to give yourself some grace, give yourself some flexibility, and understand that if it doesn't happen within that time frame, you didn't fail. Okay. It's maybe not the time for you to be able to do that. Like right now, I think I was in my 30s. I was 32, 33 when I got into bartending, and now I'm 42 and I love every minute of it. And I'm doing what I love. I haven't had a job outside of this industry since 2020. Like I won't even take jobs outside of hospitality, because if it's not about prolonging this career, I'm not taking the job. Anything that's not about this career that I'm creating is a distraction. So I don't take jobs that aren't within this industry in some nature. And so I just feel like that's the way to go. Once you decide what you want to do, start working at it, but give yourself some room for flexibility for life to happen. Because when you put yourself on that timetable, all of a sudden it's like you start putting pressure on yourself that's unnecessary. And it takes the fun out of what you're doing, and it eliminates your ability to learn and grow and adjust and be successful. So what do y'all think about that?
Couldn't agree more.
So yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah, I feel like timeline stresses you.
Timelines are, they have the whole saying that you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Right.
Sometimes we tend to put that pressure on ourselves. Especially, I'll say this too, because I think entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs specifically, we're in such a hurry to get it done, because I gotta fit my 5-year plan in. Everything gotta, and it's like praying. Just because you haven't had your prayers answered doesn't mean that God is saying no. He might just be saying not right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right now.
But that don't mean quit on it. That don't mean give up. I'm gonna be very transparent, be quick, so I can let you push on. This year makes I want to say 7 years of me doing this. Just as far since I started my podcast. But I've been really in this game since 2012 within the zone. And been frustrated because I'm like, should hit. And we had something going in the zone. We had some setbacks, personal, stuff going on, loss of life, people. It was just really a lot happening. But at the same time, it's going, for what we're still doing, I've made it. I stand on it. If I could just bless one person, say you helped me. This is what it's about. So if we're doing it for the right reasons, it may not hit when we want it to hit. Just stay in your lane, keep growing, keep learning, remain patient, trust God, and be consistent.
And we really have to adjust what we consider to be success, because success can be a lot of different things. Like, I can honestly say that, there are times where as an instructor, I've had students sit in my class, in my office, and they've, cried and been like, I got to make this work. This has to work. I need to, I need this because of what's going on in my life. And it's real easy to think, because I'm not making certain amount of money, that I'm not a success. But when I think about the times that I've literally stopped and given somebody a hug and told them it's going to be okay, and then sent them back out to class, and they're like, oh my God, I really needed this because life has really been lifing, and I really needed this release, this fun, this moment. That's success.
Yeah.
And then I think of, like, I'll never forget, I had one student, when she signed up for the class, she literally was like, I'm over 40, I'm a nurse, what should I do? I don't have any business being here. And I'm like, who told you that? And she's like, because I'm over 40. I'm like, you do realize people over 40 drink. That's your
and sometimes a little too heavily.
Okay. I'm like, that's your audience. And she's like, but I'm a nurse. Okay. And she's like, and she was like, and I'm not the typical bartender, like the look that most people are looking for. I say, you're not giving me reasons why you shouldn't be doing this. That, as far as I'm concerned. So what magic words are you looking for me to say? Because all I hear is you're scared because you're about to try something new. And when I look at the growth that she's had since she's taken the class and she started her own business, she's literally been doing, bartending at fashion shows. She's learned how to, take advantage of social media. She's created videos and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, you out there flourishing. Like, she called me one day and was like, they want me to do a dragon fruit like margarita, and I don't know what I should do. And we're literally discussing ways for her to do it. And she's like, I'm gonna try it out. It's not for like a month from now, but I want to try it out to like get it down pat so I can get the recipe. And I'm like, this is not the same person that sat in my office and was like, I shouldn't be doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, what are you talking about? So it's like, we have to change what success is defined as. Because success for me is when I see someone who gets behind that bar and I'm looking at them like, oh, this is going to be a long class. And then they get it. And that light bulb hits and it's like, right. Or they call me and they send me a video and be like, did you see what I did? Yes, look at you. Like, that to me is me being successful because I help you overcome whatever you were thinking that made you think like you couldn't do it. That works for me. So eliminate timetables, y'all. Don't get stuck on what's supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen, what other people say. It doesn't matter. If that's the assignment
Proof
that
of
you
my
can give,
success, real quick.
talk to us.
my proof. There they are, right there. See that right there?
I was like,
Yep.
I was like, wait, what we looking at?
True.
You got a video?
Yep.
Fact.
Yep. No, because if you know, then you know. Like I said, the origins of how this all really began. Like I said, it was just me on a cell phone talking to get some stuff straight. And then, of course, you start to meet people along your journey. And now, like I said, Dylan, you one of the heavy hitters. I'm just saying, kid, you one of the heavy hitters. But this one right here, where he at? He ain't here tonight. Okay. But this one right here, this one with this long hair here, you know, she stepped in at a very crucial time for me, man. And we've been family. That's it.
Yeah.
We've been family. So no, that's why I said that's what, to me, when I don't have to be on here, but it's still being represented, and somebody else is getting has a platform to do things that they want and what they vision, and you know, and will bring their vision in life, what they envision and things like that. And it's like, okay, you're doing something. It's not, you're not going backwards.
Yeah.
Now let's just try to piece it all together. Continue to pray, continue to work, and it's coming. You just stay here.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes because, you know,
Like
life be lifing.
Life be lifing, but doubt creeps in because you say, by now I should be here. By now, this many people should be. By now, all these folks that I know, you know, should be. And the truth is, what I'm doing may not even be for them, so I can't trip. You see what I'm saying?
You never know who's gonna watch this.
We've already had our time. We've crossed our paths. So what I'm doing now may not be for you. You got what you needed from me back then.
Yeah.
But going forward, I'm gonna cross paths with some folk I ain't never met before. That's gonna need exactly what we doing now. Just stay in your lane, stay the course.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. So that is our quick dip for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, eliminating timetables. Take off the restraints period. Okay. Take off restraints period and just let it go, because you never know what you'll be able to accomplish. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this. So it's two things I want to talk about tonight. So the first thing is our younger generation. Both of us were talking about how some of our nieces and even nephews were talking about how they don't want to be parents and how they don't want to be married. And and I even have friends like that are my age that are saying they don't want to be married, and they come from a 2-parent household where their parents are still married to this day. And I'm like, you've seen a successful marriage. Like, you literally see your parents. How is it that you don't want to be married? So I really want to talk about that. They were talking about, there was a study that said, you know, some of the top reasons that young people, the younger generations, are not getting married. And one of them is the state of the world right now. You know, they feel like everything in society is just so screwed up that they don't want to raise a kid in this society. And when you start looking at things that are happening right now, I mean, we make jokes about it and things of that nature, but I mean, they have a point. There's so much going on, and there's so much, I mean, when I think about the conversation that we as Black people have to have that, you know, other people don't have to have, you know, when you see a cop, don't startle them, don't make them nervous, kind of stuff, you know, don't run, don't make any sudden movements, that kind of stuff, you know, don't wear a hoodie,
don't be Black,
you know, don't be suspicious, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't be you. It's really what we're telling.
That's a conversation between a Black father and his Black son. I'm gonna be honest with you. That ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing new. It's just now, because a lot of things have become, you know, have come to light thanks to social media. Everybody feels like, you know, we need to have this conversation. It needs to be just bigger. It needs to be a bigger conversation or a bigger audience than just father to son. Like now, thanks to, you know, women like Sandra Bland, we got to include our Black women, and we got to include our Black girls, and now,
young, old,
the the whites are, and I hate to say it like that, but I mean, like, they're starting to whisper, like, what the hell really going on? We've been trying to tell y'all.
Right.
Shit is real.
Because I mean, I think when it came to corrupt cops, it was always, Black and brown people. And what I've always said is corrupt cops affect all of us. It's not just Black and brown people, because I've seen where they've been unfair to white people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not.
Oh, and please don't believe that all the cops who are corrupt always
going after Black and brown people.
Colors.
Yeah, like it's all of us. That anybody that's not a cop is typically in danger. But then you have the people, the good police officers, like they're put in danger because a lot of people now aren't seeing a human being, they're seeing a uniform. And it's now, if you a cop, I don't trust you. If you a cop, I feel this way. And I just feel like corrupt cops affect all of us, and you have that. Then you have the political stuff that's happening. And then you have the men versus women stuff that's happening. The younger generations are kind of like, we are over it. They're trying to break generational curses and, talk about things that happen in the family, because we grew up in a time where what happens in this house stays in his house. And they're like, nah, we finna bust this wide open. We finna come out.
I don't know why they feel the need to do that. I'm gonna be real. I don't know. Like, there's a such thing as therapy. Okay, go talk to your therapist. There's a such thing as family conversations. We're having a family chat tonight. But why do we have to take the deepest, darkest, dirtiest secrets of our family and jump straight on a live and go, bruh,
well,
my dad ain't shit. My mama ain't shit. He been cheating on her since 1974. Oh, y'all think I'm playing? I'm the youngest. Like, what the? Come on down with you.
So on one level, I can understand why we want to keep certain things private, because growing up a part of the first family, we had to be careful who we allowed close to us, because next thing you know, everything is all over the church. And now my dad is not an effective pastor because our family is in shambles, because we're, surprise, surprise, normal. But then there's the whole thing where it's like, there are some things that happen in some families that need to be exposed, because like I was talking to, I'll never forget this. It was a guy I met. We were doing Mary Kay together, and his whole family, like when I say generations of incest, it was crazy. Like one of his cousins had a full-on romantic relationship with their grandfather. The whole family knew. And it's like, no, that's his girlfriend. No, that's your cousin. That is like his something, niece, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his blood.
Game of Thrones. That's what they doing right there.
And it was like each generation had something that happened from an older generation done to them, and then it got passed on. Like it kept going. So it's like, I understand why some people feel the need to, say things out loud, but at the same time, I mean, it's like,
you do know we can see you, right?
Right.
I thought you said that was your grandpa and that's your cousin. I'm kind of confused.
Like, but the whole world don't have to know.
Yeah, but the thing is also, it's because they feel no shame in it, and they feel like, oh, it's in our corner, we can do it. And that's even with to be honest with you, like certain families, this not telling your medical history, you're killing your lineage off, because it's like, we can't be proactive about how to stop something, or we don't know that these are signs of this, because we didn't know cousin such and such had this. Like even when I got
great aunt had that. Yeah.
When I got diagnosed with lupus, like I thought my mother was the one that, and it came like that. But my mother found out she has cousins, aunts, other people have had this, and we could have been like preventing, helping with the flare.
Test for this, look for this.
Yeah, cancer. When I tell you, like, cancer run rampant in our family, and it's not just the women, but it's just a lot of things. I feel like it hurts me, but I knew what to do when I found out about what was going on with me, because my aunt had to pay that price.
Let me back up on this one. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just saying my aunt passed away, and instead of, listening and be like, oh no, let me wait, I'm going to keep trying. My grandmother even was like, baby, no, get rid of it. So, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing that information or not knowing how somebody suffered from something, I'd have been like, oh, let me just keep waiting. And then it could have gotten worse. You know what I'm saying? Even with my sister, like we just learned how to be open and honest about what happened with our bodies to the younger generation, because not just the girls, the boys. And it's like, it is a good thing to know your body, know when something's not right. And I think that's another thing that families got to stop doing. Like,
keep yourself a secret.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So we got teenage kids. Hell, that's y'all boy. We all got teenage kids. But no, I was very concerned about whether or not my kids will be comfortable enough coming to me about sex, about their feelings towards, people they might be in a relationship, just, getting advice. I was really concerned about that because of my personal experiences. And I've had my conversations, again, the family chat, I've had them with my children to let them know what I went through, and I don't want that for y'all.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to take anything, like if there's anything that you feel, you think, you're not sure of, like you should at least let me bring it to Pops, and then, because I want you to understand, I'm not here to judge you.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to listen so I can get some understanding. And then at the same time, I'm going to make it known. Do you want my advice? Do you want my input? Or do you just want a sounding board? You feel me? Like, because I can do all the above. But I got a call recently from my son. He's experiencing some things in life. And I was just thrilled because anybody who knows me knows, my son is the one of two children that lives outside of my home. And one of my living two children. And that meant the world to me for him to call me for advice.
Yeah.
But then in giving to him what he asked for, he stopped me and said, Pops, I appreciate you. He said, because what you're doing right now, what you're telling me, is actually making me feel more at ease. Because I'm actually getting the understanding about it. See, these are the conversations that I'm not afraid to have with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to go there with them. And I think that's a big issue with a lot of today's kids because they're not talking to their parents. They're listening to social media and everything is tangling. You would be surprised what's really in your kids' heads because of what they're listening to on social media and what they're asking Google. I always tell parents, don't check just the websites that they're going to. Check the Google searches.
Yeah.
That will tell you a lot about what's going on in your kids' head.
Yeah. And I think that's why some of them are afraid to be parents because maybe they're afraid that, maybe their parents weren't open with them. So they don't know if they can be open, or maybe they don't understand how important it is to be open, or maybe they've done some stuff and they don't want to be open. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, we have people go through stuff and they get ashamed of stuff. And it's like, it's a lesson. And instead of seeing it as a lesson, they look at it like, oh, I can't tell anybody that this happened. I'm embarrassed by this or whatever. And I just feel like the younger generation, they just feel like, the state of the world. No. One of the second reasons is that it's too expensive to have kids. And they say that, I want my money to be for the things that I want to do. I don't want to give all my money away to a kid. And and I had a lady tell me one time, now I told her that I just wasn't ready to be a mom. I didn't go through the whole, thing about me, having lost a child before and things like that. Cause you're a stranger. I don't know you. And she was like, oh, I see, you're selfish. And a part of me was like, you do realize that as a woman, I'm born a woman. I'm not born a mother. I'm not born a wife. I'm not born anything else. I'm born a woman. How I define my womanhood is up to me. And parenthood is not anything from everybody. Yeah, like everybody is not, I want to be a parent. I see myself as someone's mom or dad or whatever. And I think that's 100% okay.
But I think, and then the people that are just like, I just want to keep having kids and over and over and over. Parenting is not for the weak. Like, I don't care what nobody say. It's not all peaches and cream. And especially, yes, it's easier to protect them when they're smaller because you can keep them close. It's just like, it's a whole level, another level of fear. Like I never feared and I never understood why my parents were the way they were until I became a parent. And it's just like that fear of the unknowing, someone that literally, like you say, your heartbeat walking outside this world that anybody can touch and you aren't there. Like there has been too many times that I have been, and I'm like, God, whoever listening, all my ancestors, cover my baby.
Yeah.
I can't get there. And or if cover me till I get to him, because when I tell you that Nissan be like a jet, when I because it's like there's never been a time with Ethan like I have ever. My father has that statement, why lie when the truth will do? I have not lied to my son, not about how he got here, his the whole situation. I don't lie to him, but there is a way you go about telling it. So that has always been our rule. I've never sugarcoated things with him, but sometimes now seeing how he is, maybe I should have, but I felt like how I was raised, my parents didn't tell me enough because being the youngest, it was like, oh, you don't need to know. You don't need to know this. So to me, I never wanted him to be blindsided. And it's, I feel like being a parent is just kind of, it's a guessing game because you really don't know what kind of kid you have. You don't know emotionally and mentally and physically how they're going to develop with the things you know. And you thinking, well, I survived. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And some of the stuff they go through, I couldn't understand. Like, can't understand it because it's just like, I went through that stuff, but the way I was raised is like.
But like some of the stuff that they go through now, it seems a little more intense than when we were growing up because we always got told that, you know, we were kids. You know, how many times we say something like, you getting on my nerves? You ain't got no nerves. You know? So it's kind of like, let me mellow that out. I ain't got no nerves. You know, you stand there with your hands on your hips. Get your hands out of your imagination. I mean, it's like, you know, stay out of grown folk business. Stay in a child place. You know, a lot of people ain't been told to get somewhere and sit down. And it shows.
Here's the thing, too. And this is what I also think about, too. Wow. We were born in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good chunk of us who were born to parents addicted to drugs. There was a good chunk of us who had a lot of family members addicted to drugs. Children of the 80s, especially the early 80s. We know we're labeled as millennials. Technically, I mean, like, if you want to be technical about it, sure. By the year we're born.
I don't know how they do it.
But we really grew up Gen X. Like, we grew up by their rules.
Yeah.
We actually
do as I say and not as I
do. We were children. We were told to stay in a child's place.
But we were many adults.
Some things we had to do for ourselves. We had to fend and fight for ourselves because we're from that generation. These kids now, it's a twofold.
Yeah.
Our parents, I'm gonna have to tell the truth. In some cases, we've been overly protective.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to drive. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have children. They don't want to freaking grow up
at all.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be grown with privileges without responsibility.
Ooh.
I never think like that. You never thought like that because you were never in position to think like that. We always knew you're gonna have to go out and make your own money if you want to buy the things that you want.
Because the rule was go to school or get a job.
I hated. Listen, I grew up in the 90s. Again, we had crisscross with the baggy jeans backwards and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had the cross colors with the baggy. My mother bought the stiffest pants she could find. I hated them pants.
But what you do?
They was exposing all my business down there. And I knew the only way I'm gonna get out these pants
was to buy your own.
I got to.
And you know what?
Parents weren't like they are.
There was something to the whole like, because like my mom, as we got older and we wanted more expensive shoes, she would tell us, "I got you for the first $100." Anything over that $100,
Better figure it out.
that's your responsibility. So when we started, like, I want Nike this and Fila this and Adidas this and da 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 da. Okay, so I stayed in Kid Foot Locker. I was so happy I could be in Kid Foot Locker. Let me go ahead and get these over here in Kid Foot Locker, because penny limit was $100, and she was like, they could be the ugliest shoes ever. I ain't got to wear them. You have up to $100. What you do after that?
That was my rule,
and that was tax included. You let it be $101.99. That $199
is your responsibility.
That's your responsibility.
And we had chores, y'all.
Yeah, we did.
See, okay.
And,
So
chores and no allowance.
I didn't get a right chores or no allowance.
In the
Your
beginning,
chores, you got rewarded when they would gift you things. You know, tonight we're gonna go to Pizza Hut and eat the buffet.
I'm on Pizza Hut buffet. They don't know about that.
That's for having a good. They don't even know nothing about that.
They don't know about reading out the books to get a free
you stayed out of. Sometimes it wasn't even that you had good grades. The fact that I ain't even have to fuss at you this week. Come on, let's go. I'm
you
gonna take
cleaned your room without me asking you.
Or wait a minute. When I was little, did you take your nap? Oh, you ain't take your nap? You ain't going outside and playing. Lay down. And you be like, I am not
that
sleeping.
only happened at grandma's house.
You better close these eyes.
That only happened at grandma's house for me.
And then there's the whole the like every now and then, like it was special for us. Mommy would make breakfast for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And we would be like, that would, I don't know why that was so freaking special, but she'd be like, we having breakfast for dinner, pancakes, come on. Like it's like our parents did stuff where we appreciate. Simple. Like we had pizza and stuff on the weekends. Like Friday night was, we watching TGIF. And we had pizza from Pizza Hut and all this stuff. Like we literally will watch movies like Michael Jackson's world premiere videos. You got to be ready for bed, take your shower, clothes out, book bag and stuff packed. Everybody, because once this video go off, you are going to bed.
And the thing is, everybody had to be.
Everybody.
The MTV world premieres, and even as we got a little bit older, like the world was just different. But again, I'll say this just to get back on top. I'll say this. So we had a little more leeway to be independent.
Yeah.
We had things to look forward to because our parents fought for our innocence. They understood sex wasn't the only thing that kept you innocent.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what I'm dealing with these bills. You don't know what I'm dealing with having to do housing repairs and car maintenance. And you don't know what it is trying to maintain your schedule between your work-life balance. And I got kids who got to go to practice over here as soon as I clock out over here. And I got to go across town, pick them up, drop them off. Oh, yeah, I got another one who got basketball practice back over here.
And they still had to be married.
They didn't want to protect, right. And then, oh yeah, I ain't spent no time with your mama. Got to make sure I get that in.
They still got to be married
up lately, and the thing like we can't turn our back from y'all and can't get nobody to come watch it. So we had to. They fought like hell to protect our innocence.
They did, and so I think that was a huge thing. That was a huge thing because we lived in like the first neighborhood we lived in where we had a house. We were the only Black family in the neighborhood, and we felt it. We felt the racism in that neighborhood to the point where when Halloween came around, we couldn't go trick-or-treating. My mom and dad would hide candy in the house, and we would do, the Hallelujah party at the church, and dress up like church people. But we never I didn't go trick-or-treating until for the first time. So I was in the 4th grade when we moved to a different neighborhood. And it was a kid-friendly neighborhood. It didn't matter that, we weren't the only Black family, and it was a mix of families or whatever. And we had friends in the neighborhood. Our parents were not nervous about us going out in the neighborhood because nobody was attacking us. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a white family literally let their dog chase me. Yeah. And I was a kindergartner. And it's like, I haven't even had time to do anything to you. I'm 5. Like you're literally like harassing me and I'm 5. And it's not just the kids, it was the adults in the family too. And they, you know what I'm saying? So it's like our parents, like, and I remember having a conversation with my mom that I still think about to this day. And she's like, whenever you get in the elevator or you around like a bunch of, white people, don't put your head down. Always lift your head up. Don't try to not make eye contact where it's like, oh, I don't want to, and she said, and I've always remembered that. Yeah, she's like, don't make yourself feel inferior in any way. And I never understood that until I got older, because even though I knew what it was when I was younger, I didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't fully understand until we started studying that stuff in school and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, these young people don't want to have these conversations with their kids. They don't want to have these conversations with them.
I think they just really, to be honest with you, my whole thing that I think as a parent that I dislike to the utmost highest, to the tippity top of the mountain, the biggest mountain y'all can find, I want to take it up there and knock it off, is school. I don't like dealing with people who educate my kid. I don't, because it is frustrating to know that you did all this work up to the age of 5 to get them where they're speaking, they're writing, they know their name. And then you send them off to these people who do, and it's not all, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that for anybody trying to jump down my throat, which I don't care. I'm not scared of y'all. There are a lot of teachers out there now that do not teach the children. They just teach the class. And they don't understand that every child does not learn the same. Every child is not literally focused in the way that they think when they come to school. You do not know what's going on in that child's household when they come in that school. And the way that these teachers do not nurture these kids. And then, but the thing is, that's why they're afraid of them. You're not acting like the aunties and the uncles and the grandmas and the mamas and the daddies, because what they don't do at home is act ignorant like they do at school. Because it might not happen, but them hands would get laid on you.
But see, here's the thing. I'm gonna push back on this just a little bit, because the way we grew up, the teachers were hands-on with us because they got permission from the parents to be hands-on with us. There was no buck in the system and telling the teacher what you're not gonna do. My mama said, I ain't gotta listen. The only person I gotta listen to. Mama, I wish the hell you would. And then how dare you go up here and disrespect these adults up here? Now you have teachers who have to fight against that. Because there are kids out there who have been told the only person you listen to, the only person that you respond to, the only person that you got to show respect to is me. Anybody else. If you got a problem, or you feel like they're not doing this and this and that, you come get me. And then mama show up to the school acting a fool, this and this and that. Again, I know you might not have seen it, Courtney, but the whole thing with LeBron James and got in Stephen A's chest or whatever. Some people had their little feelings about it. I'm like, but that's your son's business.
Oh, okay.
And I get it. You want to speak as a father, but he's a professional now.
Yeah, he at work, baby.
So you ain't doing him no favors by jumping in critics' face, trying to protect him. He's a grown man. He has to be able to handle this. You can't coddle him like that.
That check, he better handle that.
And I think the biggest thing is our parents taught us how to take care of business. Mm-hmm. They taught us how to stand up for ourselves, because now, don't get me wrong, my parents had that conversation. Like you still a child. So if it gets to the point where you being respectful and addressing the situation doesn't work, you need to come get us.
Yep.
But they still taught me, okay, this is how you advocate for yourself. This is how you speak up for yourself. But I was never given permission to be disrespectful. Because if I ever decided that standing up for myself meant disrespecting an adult, I had to deal with my parents. And I tell people all the time, it's a whole lot of people on this earth that need to thank God for my parents. Because one thing I'm not going to do is face Penny and Randy, because I'm over here acting a fool with you. It's a lot of people I could have told you to go to hell at 13, but I'm not finna face Penny and Randy.
Yeah,
I'm not finna face my parents.
People used to tell me that, Fred, talk about, you scared because the cops. I ain't scared of them.
Damn them cops.
Kevin
because
Karen.
When you say who's making a phone call to, Ray, Jared, Brandon, You call the siblings. You call the
Please.
horsemen. Don't you
Please.
dare call my
Please
parents.
don't call me.
The only time you call my parents is when I'm 100% right and I'm the victim of circumstance.
I'm like, call them.
Call Penny. Please call them. But if I am the reason that I am sitting in this office, I'm sitting in this jail cell, don't you dare.
When they be like, you're bailed out by who? Who's
That's
out
what
there?
it is.
It's a black man. He got a beard. Yeah, glasses. Yeah, he by
I'm
yay
just staying
high.
here. I'm
Slam
staying
this
here.
door.
Leave me here. Leave me here with the staph infection.
I'm
Look,
staying here.
matter of fact, when you take me out there, I need an escort all the way home. Okay?
Look,
Like,
can you put them in cuffs first? Let me get in the car. You just put them in cuffs first.
because I need to be in the back seat. Matter of fact, you know what? Leave me here. I'm not going with them.
I'm just staying here. That's it.
I'm not going with them.
And I'll tell you in a minute. My mother is 5'2", and at the time when I was 16, 17 years old, she might have been 120 pounds soaking wet. But I was more afraid of her than anybody else.
Anybody?
Because that's the one I'm telling you, I never forget. I forgot to do something. I can't remember. We was in the mall. And I said something. She asked me something. I responded. I forgot to do something, but I think it came off in a little smart ass kind of way. And out of nowhere, just here, all of this in front of everybody. She did that in the middle of my forehead, in front of everybody in the mall, and then stood there with a hand like this.
Like, I say something.
You next.
Say something. My mom had a strap on her purse, and she would always remind us, this strap come off.
I'm gonna tell y'all, I to this
Understood.
day, I cuss in front of any and everybody. I ain't never scared. But that Audra Mae Roy.
And you know what? I've never actually gotten a whipping from either of any grandparent. Neither my mom's or my dad's. No grandparents.
No, I'm saying, why would we? We heard what they do.
No. My grandmother wasn't, my grandparents aren't that one. Like, we were hopping on the couch, me and Ray, and my daddy was like, y'all get down. My grandma told us, let them babies alone. So we didn't get whoopings from grandparents, like at all. But parents,
that's not
parents, man, please.
Them Louisiana grandparents, like I'm telling y'all, to this day, my grandma is not tall. I call her the original gangster. I think my aunts were going back and forth, and I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help in the kitchen because I don't get in the kitchen, y'all. And I'm trying to be helpful, cut up the cheese because my auntie making my mac and cheese. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting this. They going at it. All I hear is my grandma with that little voice, because my other cousin was like, y'all be quiet for mama get up. Be quiet before mama get up. And I'm like, oh yeah, y'all be quiet for mama get up. All you hear is the little slipper. All of a sudden, she said their name. She had that slipper. I don't know how she got it. And I'm sitting there like this. She said, oh, everybody shut up. And I'm like,
oh, man.
Y'all, I was so scared. I fell asleep. Like, because we were sitting. I was so scared to move. And I was tired, y'all. I was sitting there just like, Lord. My grandma said, get up, get in the bed. Good night.
But see,
I didn't even wait to see who she was talking to. And I wasn't even sleeping there, but I slept there that night. My grandma's still that woman. No.
You saying all that, but I'm telling you, we grew up where I learned my mama and my grandmama part ninja.
Oh no, I'm
my
mama
with a shoe.
I have literally been hit with several items by Penny.
Yeah, my uncle got hit. God rest his soul.
Remote control, church fans,
and she's wearing
shoes. I got hit with a Timberland boot, middle of the back. I collapsed like biscuit on life. Gone.
My grandma used to beat him with
go. Like my mom, I'm gonna tell you how bad my mom is, how badass she is. I said, I'm gonna run away from home. She said, okay. She opened the door and stood there and she said, go. Who the hell finna walk past you?
Nah. We know that.
She said, no, you want to leave? Leave. So you get ready to leave. She ain't moving. So I got close to the door and then she did one of these in front of the door.
Like, so you really think you about
Nah. Anyway, man, what else we got, bro?
I'm running away.
I'm gonna go upstairs, but it ain't because I'm scared.
Shit, yes, you are.
It's cold outside, and I ain't got no coat. That's the only reason why.
Because you can't
take yourself whatever you want to. We know.
Take nothing with you.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get back. Because we got 5 amazing questions that we got to talk about if your relationship is ready to go to the next level. You've been in one.
Oh, okay.
We'll be back. Dylan's Dive Bar Season 3.
While we're on the break.
When it's time to celebrate a milestone, do it in style. Posh Event Center can design a party to turn 40, 50, 60, and beyond with a theme or other unique event decor.
Welcome to an experience with All That Jazz Entertainment House, where you get great customer service, great establishment, great leadership, great staff. Did we mention the catering, the ambiance, the vibe? All of this stems with great cocktails, great mixes, great mixologists, with a great leader. All That Jazz Entertainment House. Contact Randy Glover for booking. Looking for great music and dope podcasts? BWNC Radio is where it's at. Black with No Chaser Radio. Download the app now. Come for the dope podcast. Stay for the dope music. Also available on Apple Stores and Google Play Stores.
What's up?
Look at my nephew.
Welcome back to Dylan's Dive Bar Season 3. So y'all seen the commercials. Y'all know what it is. That last one, it comes from our guest from last week's podcast episode, Mr. Nidell Knowles. And if you have been watching Beyond the Gates on CBS 2 o'clock weekdays, Monday through Friday, you might have seen his face. I'm super proud of him. Super proud of him. So let's get into this new thing. All right. So this is why I love my job, because as bartenders, you know, we run into amazing people. And this young man was evaluating his relationship. And so he asked himself 5 questions and then asked his partner, his girlfriend, the same 5 questions to see, you know, if they were ready to continue with the relationship and if this was one that was going to lead to something long-term and everything like that. So let's talk. So I'm going to read the 5 questions and then we're going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. All right. So the first one is, and he says, here are 5 powerful questions to help you evaluate your relationship and decide if it's truly right for you. Number 1, if someone told you that you're a lot like your partner, would you feel like it was a compliment? Your partner reflects a lot about your own choices. Are you proud of that reflection? Number 2, are you truly fulfilled or are you just less lonely? Don't confuse companionship with fulfillment. Number 3, are you able to unapologetically be yourself? A healthy relationship allows you to show up as your true self, no filters required. Number 4, do you feel like you need to change to please your partner? Ask yourself, are you growing together or are you losing yourself to meet their expectations? Number 5, would you want your future child to date someone like your partner? This question hits deep. If the answer is no, it's time to reassess. So these are the 5 questions he asked himself and then asked his partner. And they had a discussion about it and they ended up continuing their relationship. But let's talk about number 1. If someone told you that you're a lot like your partner, would it feel like a compliment? Your partner reflects a lot about your own choices. Are you proud of that reflection? I think that is a serious question because when we start thinking about why we chose someone, you know, are you really looking at the person that they are, or are you still on that superficial stuff at first? Because I mean, of course, to say that looks don't matter is silly. that's the first thing you
I gotta be
notice
attracted.
is a physical attraction. But when you start talking about being with someone longer than 3 months, are you still, when someone asks you, why did you pick this person? What drew you to this person? Are we still at the superficial, that they're fine or they sexy, or have we taken the time to get to know them? And someone says, oh, well, you a lot like them. Are you looking like, no, I'm not? Or, oh, thanks, I appreciate that. Let's talk about that. If your partner is a reflection of your choices, are you proud of that choice? Are you proud of that reflection?
Your first response is always the true response. But if your first response is to go, hell, you mean by that? You might need to reevaluate some things.
Mm-hmm.
To me personally, I want to know, because there's certain things that I tend to admire. Like, for instance, with my wife, there are certain things that I tend to admire about her, in her level of intelligence, the way that she can be patient and articulate herself. She's not rushing to answer certain things. Like it's certain things that you appreciate and you respect about your partner. So if you're gonna speak about me in that aspect, I'm like, hey, I'm grateful. I appreciate that. I love to be associated with geniuses and intellectuals and so forth. But if my first thought is something negative, I'm with that person for the wrong reason. I'm definitely with that person for the wrong reason. So you might want to go back and reevaluate, like you said, why are you truly with them?
And I think, like, if I look at past partners, I can honestly say there are some that I'm proud that we were together. It just because something ended doesn't mean it was negative. It just means we weren't meant to be lifelong romantic partners. And I'm cool with that, because sometimes relationships teach you what you do want, what you don't want, what works, what doesn't work, and things of that nature. And it doesn't have to be a hard lesson that was painful. Sometimes it's just a lesson that was learned. You grow apart, you're not together. And when I look at some of the men that I've dated, a lot of them were intelligent. And some of them use that intelligence for good. Some of them use it for evil, but a lot of them were intelligent. And when I think about conversations that we had and what I desire in my next partner, conversation is definitely at the top of the list. Like, we need to be able to have a conversation, not just about, simple, silly stuff. Because I can always talk to you about sports. I can always talk to you about a movie we just watched, but can we talk about life? If you have a nightmare, can we talk about that? Do you trust me enough to share with me and be vulnerable with me? Can I be vulnerable with you? So that intelligence, the ability to have a conversation and be honest, I think is super important. When I think about their sense of humor, you got to be funny, because I like to laugh, and you got to be okay with my sense of humor, because I'm goofy. So, when I think about, even though we did not work out romantically, it was still a success because I learned and I know, what I'm looking for. So I can't say that, even though some of them I could have dealt without the lesson. It was kind of hard learning it.
I'd rather eat a dry sandwich.
But at the same time, it's like, I can't say that all of my partners are kind of like a bad reflection when it comes to my choices. I can't.
Well, it's not even your choices. It's like, would you want somebody to say, "Ooh, you act like them"?
In certain aspects, yeah, I would be cool with that. Now, when I think of, like I said, I think it's both, because since we did break up, we broke up for a reason, obviously. But it's like, so yeah, there are some things where it's like, nah, don't tell me I'm like them, because I may punch you because I feel like you're trying to insult me. I don't appreciate that. But other people, it's like, I appreciate that, because they was cool as hell. So it really just depends. When you say I'm like them, I'm gonna definitely ask in what way, to determine whether.
And that's fair. That's fair, because that's another thing. We don't like to be compared to anybody. Right. Black folk, we got that as a whole. We don't like to be compared to anybody. But I'm finding out Black women, I'm sure, don't like to be compared to anybody.
Glad you know it.
Please don't compare me to your sister. Please don't compare me to your best friend. Please don't do that. And I could have meant that in the sweetest way.
We're two people. We're two totally different people.
But some of the things you have, I admire that about you.
Thank you. I admire you too.
So,
But
I
see,
would
you
be
said it
okay.
about her. But I'm just saying, if I said something in general, you know, that you
I
remind
feel
me of
you. Like
I know
for me,
I am not Whitney Houston. I'm not every woman. Do not compare me to nobody
Thank
else.
you.
And
that's
I'm
what I
not
said.
gonna-
I'm finding that out, or I've found that out over the years, and I just be like, you know what? Don't even have to be, you know, we're not even gonna be us up in here with the you remind me's. Not doing it.
And you know what? I've noticed that, like, even when it comes to small things like style, Black people can't, especially like when we can't stand for somebody. Like, if I'm wearing, you know, these glasses, and then all of a sudden everybody else start wearing them. Go ahead.
I don't
All right,
like,
these are done.
I don't like when somebody say I got something. Oh, you must have got that from somebody.
Yeah.
Or when you're with somebody, oh, he must have rubbed off on you. I feel like the guy, I'm trying to find it. The men
I'm finding it.
Because I mean, y'all know some of them, but like y'all say, some of the things about them, and I can't take it away from them because being with them made me kind of who I am today. So some of my exes are, when it comes to business and fatherhood. But would I take you saying my personality, my ways of loving is anything like that? I would be offended because I don't see me being or loving or caring about people in the way how they did. I don't see that. Now, outside all that, yeah, they were great at what they were great at. But towards me, I would never want to be compared how they treated people or handled situations, certain ones, like, because I felt like no, and it's not even and it's not even me saying that as in it was back then. Most of my exes I still conversate with after a period of time. I still talk to them, and some of them it didn't matter the age. I would never want to be compared to, oh, you act like him, or you remind me of him. Oh, you do that just like him. No, I'm good. I don't want anything but the memories that we had. All you can say is I remember y'all used to be together.
I'll also say this too. I just to be quick, I know. I think that also shows the impression that a person left on you. So, like for me, if we were together, but I didn't pick anything up from you, or you didn't pick anything up from me, I don't think we really had a big impact on each other's lives. Like,
yeah, y'all was just biting time to.
We kind of wasted each other's time. But like, if we spent time together, something about me should rub off on you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like you start looking alike.
And it may not always even be like the best things. Like sometimes it could be the little thing that might actually annoy you about that person. And then you'll find out without thinking about it, you do the same thing now all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's weird, but it's because now y'all have spent so much time together, you start to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they say, ooh, y'all, that saying, I say, boy, it sure looked like they were from the same family. You know, that's how much you start looking like they look like brothers and sisters.
That's terrible.
But it's true. Like some people be together so long.
That goes back to that whole. That made me feel like that whole incest thing. Because now I'm like, it's something that y'all ain't told me again.
Right? Is that your cousin?
But there are some people.
We do got some family out there now.
Yeah, but you got that's going there. But when you're together so long, and as man and wife or a couple, your DNAs are mixing. So you're starting, and especially if you have kids, more and more you're going to start looking and acting like that, your partners, because y'all are literally swapping damn DNA.
Okay, I'll give you that. All right. Number 2, are you truly fulfilled, or are you just less lonely? Don't confuse companionship with fulfillment. When he asked this, when he read us the question, all of us said, And I think that is a huge thing, because I say all the time, people want a warm body next to them, but they're not paying attention to what these bodies are embodying. And there are several spirits that are walking around in these people, and you're not paying attention to them until it's too late. And those spirits have attached themselves to you. And now your personality is different. Your goals are different. You think differently about yourself. You look at yourself differently. Because I've seen people who literally had like what seemed like healthy self-esteem. They get with somebody and all of a sudden they're down in themselves and all that kind of stuff. And they're jealous and they're envious and all. And it's a spirit that's attached to the person that you're dealing with, and you won't let them go because you just don't want to be alone. Some people are willing to put up with absolutely anything
Just
in order to say they're in a relationship. And society has made people, feel like if you're single, don't nobody want you. That's why that question, why you single, makes no sense to me. I'm single because I'm not in a relationship. For me to try to break that down in any other way is silly, because now you're trying to say it's my fault, like, because there's something wrong with the fact that I'm single. And if a woman or a man likes to be single, they're cool not being in a relationship. Well, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? Or, what happened in your last relationship? And you do realize that some people actually like, I like myself. I like spending time with me. And I don't understand people that don't. Like people who can't be alone. I feel like you're weird.
Because not being able to
like
be with
you're
yourself,
why
right?
Like if you don't want to spend time with you, why would I want to spend time with you?
I feel like I'm hilarious. I crack myself up.
I laugh at myself all the time.
Here's my thing. I tell people this though. This is also a reason why some people bodies start to pile up, if you get what I'm saying. You always just got to have somebody around. And sometimes in order for you to have somebody around me, you got to do something strange that you probably ain't intend on doing. And then you end up making bad decisions. But them are also the same people who get in relationships but don't want to ask certain questions because you're scared you might run him off. Or
you're not meant to be there.
You're not really comfortable with the dynamic of this friendship that she got with another person, but you're scared to say something because you don't want to run her off. Listen, if you worried about running somebody off, you are there for the wrong reasons.
That part.
We should be able to talk and communicate no matter how uncomfortable the conversation might be. Because and this is always what I go back to when it comes to the whole marriage thing, forever is a mighty long time. You biting your tongue ain't helping nobody. Why do you wait till you're 18 to go, I'm sick and motherfucking tired of you walking around with them holy socks on?
They've been walking around with holy socks for 18 years.
Why are you bringing it up now? Or I'm sick and tired. You always chewing on popsicle sticks when you're done with throw the shit away. Like, it's just little, like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
If you got an issue with something, say something. Or I hate when I ask you a question and instead of answering me, you just go, The fuck does that even mean?
And you gotta be careful how you say that because, I did a little therapy. It says, I feel when
again, I do tell people, though, that's what therapy is for. If we speak two different languages, but we need to be able to communicate, what you need, an interpreter. That's what a therapist is. You speak one way, she speaks another, and you're not understanding each other. You get a therapist, so you learn how to say, I feel yada, yada, yada. And then they go, well, according to him, he feels this, and that. How does that make you feel? This is what your therapist is supposed to help you.
Yeah, because you're supposed to repeat it back. Well, I get that you feel this way when I do this, but I really, whatever. But that's the whole thing about
if you understand me and I understand you and we still butting heads like this, it ain't got nothing to do with no therapist. We just don't belong together.
But I think a lot of times some people it's like they're afraid to ask the questions literally because either they don't know how to or they already know the answers. Like, the answers. You already know. Like, how come when we're around your friends, you don't introduce me as you don't introduce me as your significant other? Because your friends know if somebody is your significant other or not. Like, if we are together, there is nobody she can bring around me and I don't know the nature of your relationship. Now, your ass may not know the nature of y'all relationship, but I know the nature of your relationship.
So that's the thing. You got to know your person.
But that's what I'm saying. But like,
important
people, you know the answer. Like, you know why they don't introduce you as their significant other to their friends.
Because you ain't that.
Because you ain't. So you know the answers. You don't want to accept the
I'll
answers.
say there's more than one reason to that. I'm gonna give you a little peek into my former life. I dealt with somebody who had a very bad temper. I dealt with somebody who was very insecure. Now, anybody who knows me knows I keep women in my life. Platonic. You feel me? If you know me, then you really know I enjoy the company of women anyway, because I feel like the conversation is just better. This is just me, period. I hear men talk about money, cars, and women. And 90% of the time, they have no clue what they're talking about with either one of those three subjects. So why would I want to entertain that?
Right.
Like the
I
carburetor
can smell bullshit from a mile away. You feel me? So anyway, I had platonic friends. But excuse me, they weren't even really friends. They was more co-workers. But have them in my phone because we used to have a system. If somebody's running late, hey, I'm running behind. Clock your boy in.
Clock me in.
Clock your boy in, Look out
Give
for
him
your
the
folk, whatever,
Watch
We used to
out.
have a system going.
Hey, look, that life is that's real life right there.
Or after work, you say, hey, what we doing? Y'all going to get some drinks? Let's go get some drinks. Cool. We ain't going nowhere far. Cross the street from where we work at.
Mm-hmm.
5 miles down the road from where I live at. I ain't far. I ain't hard to find either. I'm going to get in here. I'm going to have a couple of drinks, crack a joke or two. Y'all be good. Praise God. I'm out. Well, somebody finds out I'm hanging with my friends. Now, they know I'm married. They ain't never met them. Why I ain't never met your friends?
Because then they wouldn't be my friends no more.
Why you ain't never told them about? Why you ain't never told me about them? I work with them. They my coworkers. You tell me about everybody you work with?
Is the answer yes and lying?
But if y'all friends, why you ain't never told me about them being friends with them? Because they my friends, not yours. When we in a situation where I can really introduce you to them, cool. But I'm not gonna go out of my way and say, hey, what you doing? I need you to come up here. So before I hang out with them, they gotta meet you. They gotta meet you first.
That's
Come on, we're not doing this. Again, should have been a red flag for me. I should have caught. These are compatibility issues. If I'm really not in a situation where I feel comfortable introducing because I'm scared that you're gonna run my friends off, that's where it was at.
Yeah.
I feel like the moment I do, your insecurities are gonna run my friends off. I'd rather just you stay where you at and I'll live my own life away from you.
I think like we also have to think about like when you only stick with that person in your little bubble and y'all never incorporate your relationship into your lives, where it's always, oh, well, I'm going out with my boys, or I'm hanging out with my family, or I'm going to this. Like when you go do your hobbies, y'all never go do them together. Like there have been plenty of times we've watched each other's TV shows and she know good and damn well I don't care nothing about bacon. But that's something that
you got into.
No, but I'm saying I end up
into it.
But I don't
if
watch
it was competitive,
them.
I know Randy got into it because Randy competitive.
But I mean, I don't
watch
them outside of being with her.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't ever see him on TV and be like, oh,
for the record, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all go together. Like, and it's okay.
We go together hard.
I mean,
hard.
This is my longest relationship outside of family. But think about that. We've never hidden any aspect of our lives from each other. I've never been like, you can't. Now, there may be friends that I don't mix with Cole.
Sure don't.
But that's because I know who my friends are. And I understand this friend may not mix with this friend. But it's never because.
Do you see that right there? Do you see what she's doing right there?
Yeah.
I'm not one of those mixes.
I know. But see, that's the thing. I know her.
I am
You're not gonna run my friends off, Courtney.
I'm only for top shelf.
Like I know her.
You ask me, I ain't got no friends. I have no friends.
Let me tell you, it's not that I don't like everybody.
Shut up.
I just, I'm that type of person. It's just people gonna be like, oh, she from Louisiana, whatever. Sometimes when I get a sense of a person, or if there is someone, I just see the way you talk to my friend wrong. And you be like, oh, I'm joking. We had a situation like that where somebody thought
It could be a one-off, but I mean, I feel
nah,
you.
hell no. Let me tell
I
you.
feel you. Listen,
If you think you can talk to me the way she talked to me and we gonna be cool, and the only reason why I don't touch you, you better be lucky this is business or out of respect for her. That's with anybody, even with you. If it's a certain person to talk to you sideways, out of respect for you, I do this for a lot of people. If I
Hey,
love you, they better
I'm
be
gonna give
glad
y'all this little tidbit real
that
quick.
we love you because
I ain't gonna lie to you. So, you know, been having to do with little things, dealings with my daughter going to the doctor and stuff like that. So he was talking to her about, you know, some things she dealing with. He was like, but that's why you're not gaining weight. And, you know, he started making little comments about weight gain and this and that. And then he looked at me and my wife and then he kept going. I was like, and then he make a comment about me and my wife and then he'll keep going. But at the same time, I'm looking like, if this motherfucker say one more thing about me and my wife, especially my wife, it about to be some furniture moving up in here.
I'm trying to tell you, don't do that.
Like it about to, but I know he meant well. He just has no filter.
You need a filter.
But I had to. So after he did, I kind of gave him a look. Like you know, the daddy look is I'm over here chilling, I'm monitoring, I'm minding my business. But then once I heard that second time when he made that little comment to me, my wife, all right.
Right.
This let me know right here. Say it one more time.
Right.
Say it one more time. I have no problem hitting you, Mr. White Man. I promise I don't. But to God be the glory. He is definitely what my daughter has needed. Things are going well for those who know.
Amen.
Continue prayers.
It's good that he works something.
God is still working, still amazing, but things are trending in the right direction. Anyway.
All right. So the second part of the question said, don't confuse companionship with fulfillment. Just because you have someone in your life does not mean that they are bringing something to your life. Okay, is this are they bringing something to your life, or is it just their presence? Because I can honestly say that when I think about, you know, the relationships that I currently have, whether we talk about romantic or not, you know, everyone who is in my life brings something with them. Okay, because there's a difference in having a friend that is just a friend versus having a friend where y'all bond. And
give a shout out to Marshall real quick. Courtney, I snatched your friend. That's my brother now. That's my guy.
Hey, Marshall.
Just know we're making a trip out there at the end of the month.
But
that's
it's like,
my guy. Shout out more. That's my brother right there.
But like, you have to think about that. If someone is in your life, are they bringing something with them that benefits, that betters you? Because if not, this is not fulfillment. That's companionship.
And it's not something that you can necessarily put your hands on. Let's be clear about this. It's not always something physical. You know what it is. But it's not always something physical. Like I said, sometimes it's the ability to listen. Sometimes it's the ability to be honest. Like I love honest people with me. You know what I'm saying? My girl's here to tell you. I don't know if I'm messing up and you don't say nothing. How am I supposed to get better? So trust me, these two have no problem telling me when I'm messing up.
But you know what?
But they know I need that.
But here's the thing.
Always been
if
like
I couldn't be that with you, we couldn't be friends. Because you can't be around me and I can't be honest with you about what I'm seeing and what I'm noticing. Now, I will ask you if in this moment you want me to be honest with you. And you want me to be real honest or you want to be nice honest? I want you to be nice honest. Okay, I'm going to still be honest, but I'm going to hold your hand when I say it. Now, if I'm real honest.
Y'all guess which one I pick all the time?
She don't never say real honest. Now, sometimes she get it whether she answer the question or not, because I need you to understand. I'm not going to hold your hand. I need you to understand. I need you to not move. I need you to hear what I'm saying to you. But if I can't do that with you, are we really friends? Are we really family? Are we like, if I feel like
we are who we say we are.
Yeah, like if I feel like I can't be honest with you, if I feel like you can't be honest with me, you know what I'm saying?
Or if
like,
I say you, it's gonna break our friendship, or the relationship.
Because I've had conversations with both my brothers where if we didn't have the love we have for each other,
Would we
you know,
still be
somebody else might have been like, man, I don't want to talk to them no more. I don't like the way they said that, or I don't like how you said that. We don't have those issues. You know, now we don't try to hurt each other's feelings, but at the same time, we can be 100% honest with each other. And if you cannot be 100% honest with your partner, why are they that's not your partner? Because your partnership, honesty should be the base. Now,
I'm glad
you
you're
can
going
be
there.
honest with
So
love,
this is
but
where I'm
you
finna bust
shouldn't
some
be
people's
honest.
bubbles. But let's
Yeah.
do it. Fuck it. This is where you also need to have your questions. Hello, adults. It's 2025. All the shit is out the window now. We know what's up. This is where you also need to have the conversations about monogamy. Okay? Listen, if it ain't your strong suit, if you're a good person with a great heart, you have the best intentions in the world, but monogamy ain't never been your strong suit, you find someone that you actually really think you like, you care for them, and you can see long term, you need to be honest enough to say, this is something that I'm just not good at. They need to be able to make a decision for themselves.
That's right.
I have to be able to roll the dice and trust that I'm being transparent with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm being transparent with you. This is what it is. If she chooses to be don't change, you were honest enough to tell her this is who you are. Don't switch up when those moments come and you do meet somebody else. Let her know. The minute you feel like you got to hide stuff from people, you are now being deceptive.
And you are in two different relationships.
At that point in time, we are no longer, we are not who we say we are. We said, all right, it's non-monogamous, but it's still our relationship. Now you being deceptive and hiding everything over here. That's something separate now. I don't know about that. I don't know. You know, I'm not a part of the decision-making process over there.
I think rules in relationships are something that people feel like there are no rules. Yes, there are. For your relationship, there should be, because if you say we're not exclusive, but we are each other's main person, there's an understanding there, but there's also should be other understandings there. So if we're not only with each other,
what is the rule?
Protection needs to be like, don't bring nothing
absolutely. That's
to
the whole
this
reason for being
relationship.
honest.
Yeah, like
because that protects your partner.
Like you can't, and you have to be honest about that stuff too. If you know for a fact, the condom broke when you was with somebody else, everybody getting tested, everybody go to the doctor, everybody check this, then third, and that's just, be honest. Because if I go to the doctor and I get bad news,
I'm coming.
Problems.
I'm coming. But I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna get detailed with it, but I had the sex talk with my son. Okay.
I don't like those.
And point blank period, I told my son this. This is the most important rule when it comes to sex. I am not going to sit here and lie to you and say sex must involve love. That's the biggest lie in the world. However, sex must involve trust. If I can't trust you to be honest with me about if you've been sleeping with somebody else, and if you use protection, then I can't trust you with my body,
my health, my life, my nothing.
Therefore, you ain't for me. Again, ladies, gentlemen, listen to me. I'm not gonna bullshit you. Sex and love, I'm not gonna sit here and say they go hand in hand. They don't. Sex and trust should.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Sex and trust should. I cannot trust you to be honest with me about whether or not you've been fucking. Here's why that works, okay? Because these are hypotheticals. Me and Randy are together, okay? And me and Randy are being honest about this, all right? We're open, we're transparent. If I meet Courtney and I don't tell Randy that me and Courtney been sleeping together, or I tell her, I trust her. Well, do you know who Courtney have been sleeping with? Can you trust Courtney?
Right.
She been keeping everything under wraps. Not only that, the person she may have been dealing with, who he been sleeping with.
That I mean, it's a
and
line of questions,
And that's the thing
Man.
there too. Do you trust that person?
and that's that whole thing. We not sleeping alone. We never go to bed alone. We never go to bed with just each other. So if there's always that tree.
That's what really made me
fills
get
up.
out of boyfriend number 2, bro. She knew who she was sleeping with between her man and me.
But she didn't know who he was.
But what about him? Because you already admitted to me that you don't trust him no more. He ain't no good. You always feel like he hiding stuff.
So
He might be hiding a lot of stuff. He might be hiding a lot of them. That was Brenda, Felicia, Linda.
Right.
all
About
of-
3 Kims. Like, I'm just saying. But I
and
think
all of that
that's crazy.
because she thinks, well, I'm just sleeping with these 2. So, I strap up with this person and I'm cool with this person and, yada, yada, yada. But if they march and stepping with everybody else, they marching and stepping off in you. So now we slip up one time and we didn't put the strap on. I'm now exposed to whatever the hell going on with your man.
And all
that was like that dude talk about Zoe did that talk about when the man was like I could sleep with more than one woman because I could wipe this off, right?
What?
and he did it. He did a thing where he was like
With a pickle.
because he had like a cucumber and he poured out the whole like right in the middle and he said you dipped in this and then this and then this and then you come dip in my water and all that stuff come in
all that.
and you got
It made sense.
You got to think about it. All right. Question number 3. Are you able to unapologetically be yourself? A healthy relationship allows you to show up as your true self, no filters required. This one is where I think
This is easy.
a lot of low self-esteem people fail this one.
Can you fart in front of your man or woman?
Okay, well,
But like, no, not that part.
Oh.
But low self-esteem people fail this one because they're afraid to stand up for themselves and they put up with stuff that they should not put up with because they don't want to lose that person. So it's a mix of two of the last question and this question, but think about it. Like how many times in a relationship when you were not sure if that person was really there for you, if it was if y'all had the real bond that you really wanted to have, that you let some shit slide that you normally would not, or you didn't let it slide in the past and then they broke up with you. So now you in this relationship and you like, maybe I will let it slide because I don't want them to break up with me, but it ends up hurting you in the end anyway. Like you cannot be yourself. You cannot say, I don't put up with that. I don't like that. This isn't for me. This isn't working for me. You don't stand up for yourself. That I think that low self-esteem is where this one really gets some people, because outside of a romantic relationship, there are some people that are super strong. I don't put up with none of this.
In a relationship,
then they get in a
you're whole
relationship,
bitch.
and all of a sudden you be like,
Bitch.
I got a question.
Bitch.
Thought you said you put up with that.
Let me
he
tell you,
didn't
they
accept
also,
him.
those are people who pretend to be something that they're not too.
Mm.
So let's just go ahead and keep it a buck. There are certain people who have very healthy sexual appetites, and then there are those who don't.
Say that to that
But
person.
then, because you think you found a good one, but he got a hot sex drive, well, if I'm going to keep him, I got to give it up. But you don't like sex like that.
Right.
You can't tell him?
Or you don't like certain aspects of the sex that he likes.
Right.
Yo, King
You can't tell him?
Shit,
Like,
man,
are you, if you're at that point
I'm tired of telling
where you feel like you can't tone it down or just get it to where your temperatures, find some middle ground, some common ground.
Yeah.
If we can't do that,
Then
this
we
is
don't need to be
trouble.
together. We're not compatible.
It's in trouble.
And I think it's weird because some people always try to say our sex life is different from our relationship.
Nope.
All of that
It's
goes
all
together. Because they'll be like, outside of the bedroom, we great. Stop acting like inside the bedroom is not a part of your relationship. Like, all of that goes together.
You know the crazy thing that I've heard about, like in a few of my relationships, like after breaking up with people, man, I didn't really know. I thought you were this way, but I didn't really know you was that way because you didn't give me a chance to be that way. You put me in that bubble thinking I was just all goofy or whatever. But anytime we were in situations, it was fun, carefree. But you never see me in that role of nurturing and caring. So you didn't know that I was that person. So you thought, oh, oh, she can't be that woman. Well, I never got the chance to, because you thought, you know, when hard stuff would happen, you wouldn't come to me because you're like, oh, she do is joke or whatever. But if that's all we did was watch movies, joke or whatever, and then when real shit happened, you never came to me, you didn't know how I was because you just thought I was a comedian. And
Yeah.
that's why I said I don't ever want to be with people who don't let me fully show who I am, because there are different facets of me. Like, everybody know that. Is this the nice me, the funny me, the move out the way, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like when people think I'm just one way, you don't know me, because you're not trying to know me, because I'm very open when I'm comfortable with you, and I let that be known. Or when people are like, I didn't know you like that, well, you weren't listening, because I talk my ass off. I tell you, I literally be like, here's the manual to how to make Courtney happy. And this is what I like. This is what I don't like. And they just be like, I didn't know you believed in that. Line 2, paragraph 4.
Right.
I like this.
Page 14.
Damn.
No.
See, that's another side to it too.
He said, I just did a cover up on a client that found out her fiance was a booty bandit.
Yeah, that's another side. Listen, if you bisexual, you owe your partner a conversation.
But even
not
if
only
you like
for
certain
them, but for
things,
you, if that's really who you are,
yeah.
why would I want you to put yourself in a box just to try to meet what you think or be what I think, you know,
But
you want me like that? Don't
even
do
if
that
you're
to
not
yourself.
bisexual and there are just certain aspects of sex that you like, you need to tell people that. And I think people just, you know, I don't understand why people like surprises. Everybody want to be a surprise party. Everything don't need to be a surprise party. We don't need to get in a relationship. Surprise! I'm bisexual. Surprise! When we get into bed, I like this. Surprise! Look.
Surprise, I don't.
When are y'all talking? Like, what do y'all do when y'all go out and y'all
They gonna hit you with the tank. Hey, look, if I suck dick twice, like that don't make you gay, right? Like,
actually,
what?
Actually, that makes you a whore.
Where the fuck did that come? We've been together 6 years, and you decided to ask me that.
Because now I'm wondering when you say twice, you mean like twice on one person or twice with multiple people? How many dicks have you sucked? Like, I just need to understand.
Is it 2 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday,
right,
and 1 on Friday?
How I'm answering this question because I need to know, is this a hypothetical or is this I need to be swinging on your ass?
And I get it. I get it. Certain conversations are not easy to have. Okay, so
they're not.
I'm a Will Trent fan, okay?
You don't need to be.
And there's a recent episode where a young lady she's meeting up with a new guy, and she has trauma. She got baggage, cool. But this is somebody that she can relate, because her baggage and his baggage somewhat matches on the surface. But then he starts to talk about his family and his pet. She felt insecure. She felt out of place because his life prior to or in a different area, it seemed so perfect. And her past, her history is just all kinds of, and she just instantly. So he go to the restroom. He left his keys and his wallet on the table. On her key ring was one of these. She was like, I knew it. Too good to be true. Left. Didn't ask a question. Left. First thing I said is, she a runner. She a runner. This is a man who clearly is in his 40s, maybe early 50s. He got black and white on his beard. Now you tell me what grown man is walking around with a wedding band on his keys unless it has sentimental value to it.
Yeah, unless they pass away.
She didn't even bother to ask, what was this?
Yeah, that could have been a parent's wedding ring.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the man came and brought her food to the job, so you left early, but you had ordered dessert. I went here and just brought it to you. Was being nice to her. Finally got the answer. Why did you leave? She said, we don't have to talk. You go talk to your wife. And that's when he bust her up, goes, I would love to, but she's dead. So now you've been a whole asshole to him because of your insecurities. But you sabotaged the whole thing because you got your own baggage too.
And I think I think the biggest thing about being unapologetically yourself is you have to figure out who that is. And a lot of people aren't doing the work to figure out who they are. And you get in one relationship expecting that relationship to heal you from the previous relationship. That's not fair. I'm not trying to be a band-aid. Okay. I'm trying to be the antibody. I'm never
going to be 100% healed.
I want to heal you, but I'm not trying to be the Band-Aid that covers it up and bullshits you. See,
I need to at least know that you're in the healing process.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to come to you and be like, let me fix you. I can't fix me. Like I need
I ain't gonna lie, fellas. Y'all, some of y'all do that, and you got a name, Captain Saveho. You know what I'm saying?
I think some men look for damaged women because they're super damaged.
There's that, and then there also makes them feel important. When you have somebody who makes you feel needed because of things that you feel needed, but they don't even think about why you're needed. They don't need you because you bring this certain value and things like that to them, and you have exposed them to something or someone that they've never had. They need you because they don't know how to do this on their own. They need you because they're not healed from their past baggage and trauma. They need you, and if that's the case, if you only need me because you ain't good on your own, have you ever asked yourself what's going to happen when she actually does start healing?
I don't
need you.
I don't want nobody.
And you know what? Men like that, when they start seeing a woman find her inner power and strength, they leave. Either they tear them down or they leave.
Tear them down because they only feel valuable when they're needed.
When they're saving someone.
Now they get scared.
But they say,
think it's no way.
I feel like I don't want somebody who wants me for what I can do for them. I want someone that chooses me every day because of me just being me. It's not what I can do for you, but who I am to you. So I don't know. It's just like if you're only there because of what you can or can't do for a person, it's not real.
But some people don't understand the value of the intangible, like what was saying. Like some people feel like if I can't pay your rent or if I can't give you sex, if I can't solve your problem, then why am I here? And it's like they feel like they don't have a purpose unless they're fixing something, or if they don't feel like they have a purpose unless they're a solution to a problem. And if there's no problems, then I'm not needed. Yeah. So
you never heard nobody actually say that. Y'all get into it and you finally found out the reason. Why are you acting like? Because you don't need me no more.
But
and it's like
that scares the shit out of them. But
like
here's
what?
The thing.
But there was a guy that says we all focus on finding the one, and it's not finding the one. We become the one together. And that is the problem with a lot of us. We be like, oh, I got to find the one because that's how I'll be complete. But we're not complete until we become the one together. So I think that's the problem. We keep trying to fix each other, but we need to grow together and then have those conversations with God.
See, I don't feel like you should get with someone who completes you. I feel like you're already completed.
Yeah.
Before you get with them, you should get with someone that complements you. And there is a big difference in that, because if you complete me, that means if you leave, there's a void and there's a hole. And now I got to find somebody else to fill that hole. That does not work for me.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think some of that is literal terminology, and it could be twisted as many different ways as you would like to. But I do think I can say that none of us are ever really complete, because to be complete means that there's nothing else that needs to be done. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like we're always evolving as a people, as a person, which means we're always learning new things. We're always looking to have different experiences. And I learned and have experienced different things because of the people I come in contact with. Yes, I met my wife, but I've learned new things from having y'all in my life. Like I said, I mean, like it's a constant evolution of that. But what I know this to be is, I'll put it into, we'll go back to the grandparents. I know we don't always say we need to do things like the grandparents, but I will definitely give this one. My grandfather passed in 1990, July of 1990. The Reverend England Dillon. And my grandmother, Miss Rosie Dillon, never remarried, never dated anything. She just passed July of 24. That's 34 years. And if you ever ask her why, I had everything I wanted with him. I was complete with him. I'm not really missing, even though he gone.
He's still there.
It's not something that somebody else can come in and fill in.
Mm-hmm.
She experienced the love that she needed, the love that she desired, the love that she deserved with my grandfather.
Wow.
And of course, you miss him
It's physical.
now that he's not physically here.
Yeah.
But you also don't have that, I don't know what this love feels like. Because you do know what that feels like. You see what I'm saying? Like that part of you can never be taken away.
Because you've been loved in a way that no one's ever loved you
Correctly.
before.
Correct.
Right.
You've been loved correctly.
So I think it's a matter of how you twist it, or how you use the terminology of it, how literal you are with it. Because like I said, I don't ever want to say that I'm complete. But this one here, my wife, I don't want to do this. With everything I'm doing, I don't want to do none of this without her.
Yeah.
Because this is our foundation.
Yeah.
We built this from the ground up. And I'm not going, if the good Lord was to call her home tomorrow, there is no filling in from somebody else. You have to just go lay foundation elsewhere.
Yeah.
But this house is this house, and that's that.
Yeah.
This house is complete because we have each other. We have our children, the friends that we have, the family that we've built, whether it's blood or not. You know what I'm saying? That's that.
I agree. All right. So we got a question. We got Marshall talking to us in the comments. He said, I gave up on trying to be one a long time ago. Nowadays, I just buy one.
He is honest about
Damn
this.
it, Marshall.
He is honest about this. And listen, it may not be the most pleasant thing to hear, but I've always said that I respect the hell out of Marshall because he's honest about it.
And you know what?
Now, wait a minute. So buy the one. We talking about prostitutes. We talking about toys. We talking about
Soldier Slim. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Listen,
if you need
I'm
something
just saying.
paid, I'm gonna get it for
transactional. It may not necessarily be financial, like here's cash, here you go, whatever. I do a little something for you, you do a little something. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Look,
heard.
Y'all heard me. Let me not
put that what we talked about on the 40/40 network. Oh, there it is.
Cat.
And listen, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I've known Marshall since I was 18. Marshall did my first tattoo. Marshall has been Marshall, and I can honestly say that nobody could come to me and say something about this man. I'd be like,
Marshall's also
yeah, that's him.
Marshall's
I'd be surprised by what he say, but I'm not surprised. I just be like, damn it, Marshall, we not letting people see that right now.
That's hilarious.
But he has always been, when I tell you 100% Marshall Dale, he has been him. And I love that about him. And it's just that's why I say, there's relationships like I have with you. He is one of my relationships that I will never let go. I trust this man because he is authentically, unapologetically himself. And I love that about him. It don't matter what nobody say. And I've seen him be in loving relationships. And he is a good dude. And it's just he figured this is what works for me, and he's a great father, great artist. He is really who he is. And the day the chick that get him, he gonna be like, I'm still paying for it, because I can hear him saying that.
Hey, look, it's been a couple weeks now, so I'm just gonna throw this little $40, little $50. Or I'm gonna go do this little transactional Because he does tattoo. Let me put a tattoo on it, then I'm gonna put some ink on him. You know what I'm saying?
Be like, girl, you got to pull it down so I can get that half of that cheek out.
I cannot with neither one of y'all. All right, we're gonna take our last commercial break and we're gonna come back and talk about the last two questions. Is Dylan's Dive Bar Season 3 Family Chat. Stay tuned.
Welcome to an experience with All That Jazz Entertainment House, where you get great customer service, great establishment, great leadership, great staff. Did we mention the catering, the ambiance, the vibe? All of this stems with great cocktails, great mixes, great mixologists, with a great leader. All That Jazz Entertainment House. Contact Randy Glover for booking. Looking for great music and dope podcasts? BWNC Radio is where it's at. Black with No Chaser Radio. Download the app now. Come for the dope podcast. Stay for the dope music. Also available on Apple Stores and Google Play Stores.
Hello, welcome back. We Season 3, Dylan's Dive Bar. We having a family chat with the Iron Wolf family. We got our fearless leader, Dwayne Woe, in the building. We got Lady Cole, and of course your girl, Lane Dillon's in the house. So we have been talking about relationships. Evaluating your relationship.
Wait. Y'all got to understand, when we say BWNC Radio, we're not playing. This episode will be airing tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for you early birds, exercisers, on the way to work, whatever, on BWNC Radio. Black with No Chaser is where it's at. Go download the app.
I was like, is she doing decent?
Now.
You so special. All right. So Black with No Chaser Radio. You will find your girl on there. I'm sick of you. All right. So we've been talking about relationships, evaluating our relationships. And we, if you missed the first 3 questions, I'm gonna read them for you very quickly. First question was, if someone told you that you are a lot like your partner, would you feel like it's a compliment? Number 2, are you truly fulfilled or are you just less lonely? Number 3, are you able to be unapologetically yourself? Number 4, do you feel like you need to change to please your partner? Ask yourself, are you growing together or are you losing yourself to meet their expectations? When I think of this question, and some people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but y'all already know I don't care. I think of the relationship between Martin and Gina on the TV show. Mm-hmm. I felt like as they continued on in a relationship, Gina lost herself. We saw less and less of the things that Gina liked to do, like going to the museum and going to plays and all the other kind of stuff that she culturally grew up with, because she was more so with Martin, because Martin didn't want to do those things. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to go to the ballet. He didn't want to go to do all those things. And he said, they were bougie, and he made fun of them, called her a brat and all this other kind of stuff. And we saw less and less of who Gina was, the more she became Mrs. Martin Payne. And I think that is like the worst kind of relationship, where you stop having your interests, you stop being who you are, and you're just the other person's partner. I mean, it's one thing to be a reflection of them, but it's a whole other thing to be a carbon copy of them. And I think that was one of the things that I never liked about their relationship. Now, when I think of like TV relationships that I think were really great, I think of Claire and Cliff Huxtable. Total opposite. Because Claire never stopped being Claire
at all.
You know what I'm saying? She was a lawyer, successful lawyer outside of the home, but she was his partner, had his back 24/7. Mm-hmm. And, she would say stuff like coffee, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't mind being his wife, but she was still Claire Huxtable. It was a clear definition between Cliff and Claire. And neither one of them stopped being who they are because they were married for so long and had kids and even grandkids. Like they still had those things that made them them. And I think that's the best kind of relationship.
Also conversed. They talked. Like if I don't think people paid that part of the Cosby Show. I don't think they gave it enough of what it really deserves. Those times that they would be in the bed and they would be up having conversations, intellectual conversations about your thoughts and your fears. Remember, they would talk about aging and they would talk about, you know, experiences that they're going through with their body, and they talk about things that they dealt with in high school. And you never told me, like they would have conversations, the importance of those, the dynamic that they had. I think it just, I don't think it got its just dues. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think people.
It fell flat on a lot of people. They didn't see the importance of that because, like, when she went through menopause and talked about that, you know, and then times where I think she asked them, if I die before you, would you, you know, remarry and move on? Like, even though, of course, we don't want to have that conversation, but they had those conversations and they talked about everything. There was nothing that, even if it was the silliest thing ever, they still talked about it.
Yeah.
There were still conversations.
Even how they talked about how they parented.
Eunice Chantilly.
Oh, remember when the
bracelet and the hair
and that
beret.
I did not want a bracelet like that.
Yes,
those like that. That's what I felt like growing up that we saw. And
they danced together.
Yes,
and they both love jazz.
Well,
but
that's the part that they I think people honed in on. Everybody loved the way they loved each other. Okay. And everybody loved the way that they coped, like they parented together. But I don't think really people paid attention to why the marriage worked was because of their level of communication, the level of intelligence and intellect that they shared with each other. Being that he was a doctor, she was a lawyer, they're in two different fields. Yet they still found different ways to, like, for instance, that woman, when she could speak French, I swear for Lord. You knew he had no clue what she was saying. But he wasn't threatened by that either. I think that's the biggest part too that people need to pay attention to when it comes down to, do I need to change or do I need to just, if you have to hide yourself or dumb yourself down just to be with this person, you're with the wrong person. And you're doing this for the wrong reason. You ain't just cheating him from an experience. You're a hell of a person.
You always got to be serious.
You're cheating yourself. You owe it to yourself to be the best version of yourself.
Your whole complete self.
Your whole complete self. I love that about my wife. And let me tell you what we're doing right now. I'm going to pass the buck with this. So anybody knows me know I'm a Marvel head. Okay. I am a Marvel head. You can't tell me shit about Marvel. I'm on all the timelines right now. Okay. I done rewatched all kinds of stuff and all the, now we in the multi-universe and everything. I'm here with it. All right. My wife would chip in here and there, whatever. Like she'd watch a Endgame, you know, the big ones or something like that. But just for every single one that was coming, she wasn't with all of that. My son did that. That's my Marvel buddy. But my son don't live with me. So the time that we weren't getting to do this, and she started noticing I was doing it by myself. She comes sit down and I want to go down the timeline. But she said, I want to go down the timeline with you. And that meant the world to me.
Wow.
But then my wife is a Harry Potter fan. I ain't never really.
I love me some Harry Potter.
But I said, baby, I want to go through the Harry Potters with you. So we're going to actually finish up the last two this weekend.
What house are you in?
Okay, she's a Slytherin. I always look, why are you? Why
That's
are you-
hilarious on
That's
so
good.
many levels.
Tell me the colors. I know about colors.
Slytherin is the green one. That's
Green.
where Malfoy is.
Yeah.
Let's go Malfoy. Yeah. So
That's
like,
where
I'm saying,
Draco Malfoy is.
but at the same time, I was never a big Harry Potter nothing. Like that was her, and I have a few other family members with it. So they always had conversation amongst themselves. But the same way my wife invested into me wanting to learn about Marvel and things like that. Got to get it back. She's in a house where nobody, I mean, I think Purple really started watching it with her at one point, but I was like, I don't understand what I'm missing because I know that that's something that she needs some kinship with, you know what I'm saying? A connection with. So now that I'm catching up, she lights up when I get something.
She probably be saying spells and stuff.
You know, oh man, look, she sent me a text with it and I got it. And I was like,
That connection right there when you get the text and she's like, he got the joke. Yes.
well, that's the whole point. And that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to, I'm not asking her to change up. She's a black nerd. She's very intelligent. She's very wordy. She loves Jeopardy. She shout out a word. You know how what's your Rosie Perez has the fools that start with the letter Q.
What is the point?
She loves you. The letter U, she got words. I was like, what? Never heard any of this stuff. But so I mean, like, I love that about it. I don't want her to change any of that. I've never dealt with anyone like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't want someone who is like that. Why? Because you're gonna push me. You're gonna challenge me. You're gonna make me do things that I was uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And that's not changing me as in, oh, you're not who you know, that's evolution, it's growth.
Development, which is always, and I think that's when you were talking about with Claire and Cliff, like, even though we saw them as a doctor, even and a lawyer, you know, in their careers, we saw them as parents, but we saw them as husband and wife. We saw the marriage part of it. And as kids, we don't see our parents being married like that. I mean, we may see them like be around each other, like, you know, kiss or hug or say baby or whatever. We never saw our parents be married because it's just something you do in front of your kids. So Cliff and Claire kind of pulled back the curtain where we could see what marriage is like in addition to being a parent. So now we understand there's a difference in being parents and being a married couple. And you got to have, you have to have both in order for that to be successful. You can't just be parents to your kids. You got to be, you know, partner to your spouse.
You want to know, because I'm single, but person, how would you say, like, talking to, dating, going on dates with? I don't know how these young people do it these days, but
I'm 42. I'm not supposed to know how the young people do it.
No, I'm just saying, like, what it's called. Like, to me, I would be
dating.
Dating. So I thought of this thing like, hey, let's set dates, and it has to be derived towards that person, but you don't tell them what you're planning. This is to show that we're listening to each other, and I could plan a date that you would truly enjoy, and it's about you, to show that I'm listening and I'm learning you, and then you'll do the same for me. So I'm winning because yet they say they got a date, but I felt like I was listening really good. And I think that's a cool way to see if, when you're dating, if the spouse or the person that you're with is really listening to you in those weird, quirky moments you be having. Like, everybody who knows me, if I say this right now, my best friend's gonna know there is one place I want to go and nobody wants to go with me. Is where?
The treehouse. Not getting no tree house. And look,
so it's not, it's
black folk and trees don't go together.
It's not really okay. So there's two of them. So there is one that's kind of in a tree, but then there's one that's surrounded by trees and it's glass, so it reflects the trees.
So
it's
you
like
see trees in nature, and she's scared of everything.
But I'm inside, so
she's scared of everything. So the whole time we gonna be inside this damn glass house. Every time a damn leaf fly by this building, this heifer is gonna jump.
I'm gonna send it to you. Whoa, it's so pretty.
It's probably pretty, but let me help you out. You know, a regular house, right, can still have bugs access. It ain't built around the tree. Yeah, but bugs can still get in it. And if bugs can get in the house and they're not built around it, you know they on them trees, right?
Send it to you and you'll be like, oh man.
In the trees. Alvin and the Chipmunks gonna be sitting next to her when she in this damn treehouse, and she gonna lose her shit. I'm not getting no, I'm not going there. So you can be telling some best friend, you want to sleep together? No, I do not.
Ross said he'll go with you.
Ross will go anywhere, damn it.
Ross said it don't sound bad.
But listen,
So
so
Ross, I need you to take her to the treehouse.
So listen, the reason why I went with the second treehouse because she was saying the stuff about the actual tree being in the middle of the house, and I was like, that is beautiful. Like when I tell you, it's a view. There's mountains, but it's like it's. So, I'm gonna send it. Well, and it's only an hour and a half from here. It's only an hour.
I'm with you, North Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. North Georgia. Let me tell you something. We went
Where all the sundown towns is, and
we stayed in some cabin. Okay.
I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
And when we was in this cabin, these cabins were so high up in the mountain. We woke up the next morning and I didn't hear the birds. It was just quiet. I ain't hear a chirp, nothing. It was just quiet. I was like, I'm serious. This is where you go when you want to hear from God, right here. It was quiet. I ain't never heard the earth be that quiet.
But see, and that's and I'm okay with being in my thoughts. We're not gonna throw hands. I'm gonna throw you over the rail. So don't
see why?
Because he started. He said he's gonna throw hands with me.
No, he said y'all probably would end up throwing hands, and you kind of just showed why.
Hell no. Go to hell.
See, she can have that. She can have that. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. The fifth question is, would you want your future child to date someone like your partner? So what I want y'all to do after you watch this episode, put that answer in the comments and we can talk about that next week. Awesome. I don't have no partner, so I mean, yeah.
I'll answer that later on. I have.
So would you want your future child to date someone like your partner? This question hits deep. If the answer is no, it is time to reassess. So I want to shout out to Connor because he's the one that shared his questions with me, so we could have this discussion. I'm glad y'all joined us for our family chat. Shout out to Iron Woe Media, Granny She Is, and Jayhawk. Thanks to Drina, our fearless leader. Whoa, tell Jazz and Purple we said what's up. Guys, this is Dylan's Dive Bar. Whatever drink you were drinking, put it down in the comments. Remember, you were designed to thrive. Stick to the plan. We out.